Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be using the jelly plate and a placemat and a foam thing from the dollar store to make a few prints to go in my Halloween journal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put just some bright red acrylic paint down, and I'm going to use the placemat that I found at the dollar store. It's a bat. I put it with the contour side down, and then I pick up the paint around it just with a thinner piece of paper, and then I feel like I didn't quite get in all the little nooks and crannies, so I use a thinner piece of paper to really get in there and pick up that paint. And I decide, let's make a yellow moon. So I waited for the red paint to dry, and then I just put some yellow acrylic paint, some craft paint, and I wanted it quite bright, so I decided to add a bit more and just spread it around with my fingers. And that ended up being quite thick, so rather than wait a really long time for that to dry, I use a little needle plastic canvas, I think they call it, for needle work, and I make a little imprint there, and that takes a bit of the thickness out, and then it dries faster. So once it's dry, I'm using some purple, I think it's a color shift paint by Folk Art, to pick that up and put a nice thin layer. And I just used some regular copy paper. No, I think that's resume paper. Yeah, and then I pick it up. So it's pretty bright. It's not very, well, it's a little creepy, but it's kind of like a happy creepy. So I want to make it a bit more moody. So I use some Arteza Iridescent Black Magic, I think it's called. And I'm going to try it again. This time I put the flat side of the placemat down, hoping to get a more definite imprint, and I go straight to the thin paper to pick up all that extra paint in there, and I pull it up and let that dry. And then I'm adding this interesting paint. It's called Mutant Shift FX. This color is, I don't know, it's by Plaid. This color is sort of a bluey purple. I don't know what it's called. Don't see it, but anyways, it makes a really cool sheen. It's sort of blue, but it's got a purple shift to it. And then I pick out these foam shapes, and that screen mask I thought might make a good resist because it's got sort of foil in the middle and then just a foam around it. So I put some black paint down. I thought I might do a technique similar to magazine resist that we talked about in a couple of my previous videos. But I think my paint's a little thick, and when I put it down, it doesn't really work. You'll see in a second here, it's a pretty even layer of paint that's left. So I thought, oh, maybe that's because I had too much paint. So I wipe off the foam thing, I dry it a bit, and then I put it back down, hoping it's going to leave the impression just of the mask. But it doesn't, it just picks everything up. So I think the foam itself was a little bit shiny, so it didn't really do the resist technique so much, but I thought I'll still use this. So I put on some of that bright red, I think it's Liquitex Basics, cadmium, carmine, I don't know, it's a red. And then I pick it up with my Halloween paper, and that's a journal page I did recently doing a prompt game with Kathy Berg and Colleen the Scrap Chick. But I use wider paper and I cut it, I fold it, and that's what I did last year for my Halloween journal. Here I decide to just glue on the foam shape right onto the page with some Eileen's tacky glue. And so this journal, I worked on it similarly last year, but I'm starting a new section this year. So I decide, okay, here I decide maybe if I use sandpaper to get rid of the sheen of the foam part of the thingy, the scream thing. So I'm using various sandpapers. I have a sandpaper block, a nail file, and then just a little piece of sandpaper. So I scuff that up. I try not to get on the foil part very much, and then I wipe off the little excess powder and I let it dry thoroughly. And then we're going to use some white craft paint, and I put a thin layer because we want to try to do that resist technique. Nice and thin, push it down, don't leave it too long. That paper towel made an interesting texture on there, so I leave it on like that. And this time it worked a little bit. You can see the face there, So the foam did pick up more of the paint than the foil part. So I let that dry, and then I pick it up with some purple because I wanted some really good contrast. Those little skeletons on the right, I did those last year. You can check out my videos from last Halloween. So there, it worked out pretty good. So I thought, well, let's try it again. Instead of white craft paint, I'm going to use white gesso to see if I can get just a little bit more contrast, get that scream mask to really stand out. So just doing the same thing here, use a paper towel. And then I'm going to be using black to pick this up. And I'm wiping off that face because in case I want to reuse it again sometime. So I've got all the paint off the foil and it's ready to go if I ever use it again. I'll put it in my box for next year. And then we're just picking up with some black. I think it's Liquitex Basics, and pushing down. Oh, that orange cat I did on stream with Kathy and Colleen. I think it was on Kathy Berg's channel. I'll try to link that video below. So anyways, there's my little scream guy. His nose didn't quite pick up, so I'm just sort of blending it in with a baby wipe. So there, he's kind of creepy fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick but fun little video about making some Halloween fun on your jelly plate. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.